Hey, Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt, thanks for tuning in to First Alert Weather Extra. We're going to be talking about the impacts of some of this active weather on our forecast across west central and east Alabama over the next 24 to 48 hours. But first, let me show you some of the scenes from Arkansas last night as some of that active weather moved
All right,
through.
let's take a look at what we're going to wear tomorrow. It's a good idea to, have an umbrella with you tomorrow morning because we've got some scattered showers rolling in, as our weather team has been talking about. 64 degrees at about 7 o'clock.
All right, that was Mickey there. We'll check in with Mickey, but we had some video earlier of the tornado that was in Arkansas yesterday, but we'll talk about that coming up. Let's get over to the weather wall here and track some of this active weather that we're going to be talking about. We actually have a risk, a slight to marginal risk for severe weather that is across our area for tomorrow and tomorrow night and into the day on Thursday. And we'll bring up our weather graphics and get over to that coming up. And there you go. You can see that severe weather outlook for Wednesday. We're looking at a level 4 out of 5 moderate risk. That's across the Mississippi River Valley that we're watching for tomorrow and tomorrow night. Notice for us that risk becomes marginal as that line moves in. And like we talked about yesterday, I'm not seeing a first alert weather day kind of setup, but I am seeing a situation where we could have a few warnings out of this. Not a major outbreak for us. Could be certainly more significant back to the west of us, and then that you can see an enhanced risk. Once this moves into West Alabama tomorrow night, it still could be quite potent, but with time that line should start to weaken just a little bit as it moves on to the east, but we still need to watch it. The instability looks to slide further south with this. That's what we saw with that last event. The instability will slide on to the south, but the wind energy will be there with this. We'll see the winds changing direction with height, so there's going to be a little bit of a directional change and wind shift there that could lead to a few isolated tornadoes. So again, while not a major outbreak of severe weather for us, could have a couple of tornado warnings, so I want to make sure you have multiple ways, again, to get those updates. It's one of those overnight situations. We have a lot of those around here, those overnight severe weather setups. So just make sure you have the weather app nearby. Double check, make sure the weather radio's got some fresh batteries and that it is properly programmed for the overnight hours. So looking at the radar, you can see right now at the moment, this is ground clutter. That's the live scan coming in from the Birmingham Shuttlesworth International Airport. Back to the west, you can see the rain back across Mississippi, and there are some storms. And yesterday we were seeing indications of some big lightning producers, and we're seeing quite a bit of lightning there back into parts of Mississippi, but a lot of active weather happening here. There's severe storms back into Texas, and I was noticing a few moments ago, I just saw a report on Twitter near Palmer, Iowa, looked like a tornado being spotted in that area. So parts of the Midwest dealing with severe weather, and that's lining up with that risk of severe weather back across portions of the Midwest, stretching back into East Texas. Next 24 hours for us tonight, there could be a couple of showers by 10 o'clock. We'll loop this on through, and in the morning when we start the day, the model data suggesting that there could be a little bit of rain around early for the drive, maybe a few rumbles of thunder across West Alabama, so don't be surprised if you wake up to some pockets of heavier rain here across West Alabama and a few rumbles, places like Hamilton back towards Fayette, still kind of scattered. Check in with Matt and Mickey early in the day tomorrow, that possibility of some wet weather, and then you can see for our Wednesday around 3 o'clock, a few scattered showers possible. And here's that main line that's going to be moving in there around 9 o'clock. You can see there heavy rain, and as that moves in, risk for some damaging wind gusts, the risk for isolated tornadoes there as this moves into the area during the overnight hours. And as that moves further east, hopefully we will see that start to weaken a little bit, but we'll need to watch for a few warnings out of that possibly during the overnight. Here's the bottom line on that risk, and you can see there we're looking at the timing 8 p.m. Wednesday. That's the one adjustment that we have made through 8 o'clock on Thursday. Damaging wind gust, isolated tornado possible there, the risk for some localized flooding. A lot of this gets out of here, most of it early Thursday morning, so if you're looking for some more nice weather later on this week going into Good Friday, getting that garden ready, doing some yard work, Thursday afternoon's okay. You may want to hold off doing a little lawn work or mowing until Friday. The ground will be a little bit drier there Friday. Looks like the rain chances will drop off. But we could see some more storms for Saturday. We'll talk about the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, all coming up in our First Alert 7-day forecast. We'll have more after this. You are watching First Alert Weather Extra. We'll be going beyond the 7-day, and we'll talk about that Easter weekend forecast. Stay with us. The Next Big Thing gives you a heads up days ahead of the next big storm system. The Next 24 gives you the most accurate and updated look at tomorrow. And the Next 60 gives you a 60-minute advantage against Mother Nature. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away, this is why we First Alert.
When we declare First Alert Weather Day, it's all hands on deck. We're on your side and in your hand with the First Alert Weather app. While Wes and the rest of the team track changes moment to moment, the app keeps you prepared and safe with video and alerts for your neighborhood. And if the power goes out, no worries, you can stream us anywhere. It's easy and it's always on. Stay ahead of Alabama weather. Just scan and tap and have the First Alert Weather app. This is why we First Alert.
On Good Day Alabama, we treat severe weather with the highest priority. It's more than just meteorologists. Everyone plays a part. Having more reporters in more places takes you beyond the First Alert, showing you the impact that we see on radar. We're live in your neighborhood when you need us. On air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
Our lives revolve around planning for what's next, like the next ball game.
One hot dog with ketchup? It's the same with weather. That's why we're on your side with the next big thing, the next 60 and the next 24. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away.
This is why we First Alert. Who puts ketchup on a hot dog?
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
All right, so we got that video, I believe, for you here. We were going to show across parts of Arkansas last night where we had tornadoes that moved through that part of the country there. I believe we do. Yes, we do. And you can see some of that video. That is from Arkansas yesterday, and obviously a very frightening sight there. See the funnel and the condensation funnel and that tornado impacting, I believe. Jill, what was the specific location on that tornado? Just northeast of Little Rock on that particular one. Look at the flying debris, unreal. You know, a lot of these tornadoes, and we actually had one here locally that was back during the wintertime. We were seeing some of that debris lofted and falling well ahead of the tornado. We saw that a lot. Remember, April 27, 2011, you know, we're coming up on that anniversary. Even that April 15, 2011 event, we saw situations we had tornadoes and the debris that was falling before the tornado even moved into the county. But that's just some incredible video. A lot of the, when you see those tornadoes, everything becomes a flying object and becomes deadly and flying debris. That's why we often say wear a helmet as extra protection there during those times of severe weather. That's one component. We're talking about the tornado component. Look at the cold part of this system. This is the scene in North Dakota, blizzard in the colder sector of this storm system. And you know, winter, this is the time of the year, the changing seasons, winter is trying to hang on. And look at just a whiteout there. Almost need shades in that particular setup. But looking at the blowing snow, winds over 30 miles per hour. Just a wintry blast there across the high plains, and that cold air trying to hang on. And we're seeing those big temperature discontinuities across the country. And anytime you see that, that's what drives these powerful mid-latitude cyclones across the country that drive a lot of this active weather. I want to bring in meteorologist Jill Gilardi right now. Jill, we're analyzing the situation for tomorrow night. And all along, you know, we haven't quite seen this as a First Alert Weather Day. Those are the days, you know, we typically expect some significant widespread impacts. I think the impacts still look to be more localized, but it's severe possibilities, and we need to be weather ready in case we have a tornado warning.
Yeah, we have to prepare for that chance. I mean, we just don't know where it could set up, so we just prepare for that possibility, ready to go and take action if we need to. Now, we're going to start off with showing you the future radar. Now, Wes was talking about this earlier, maybe seeing a little bit of rain as we head into tomorrow morning, maybe a rumble of thunder, but it'll be quick to move on through. Then all eyes turn to the evening hours. hours and the storms that are building in from the north and west. It still looks like after 8, 9 o'clock, some of those storms impact some of our northwest counties up towards Marion, maybe up towards Russellville. Then as we get towards 1140, for example, everything is sliding eastward. So the I-65 corridor seeing that stormy weather. There's 2 o'clock in the morning, still seeing a lot of storm activity, very wet, and we'll have rumbles all the way through 4 a.m. but starting to end northwest Alabama, where the cold front will be moving eastward with time. So once you get the storms to pass, again, the cold front has moved on through and you can expect things to quiet down. But this is going to be pretty active all the way through about 8 o'clock in the morning. We're talking about from northwest to southeast. It's going to take about 12 hours to complete that process across the state. Now, we do look at different parameters, and I want to take a look at the storm fuel because we talked about instability and how it may not be very intense, especially off to the east. So we start off at 5 o'clock in the morning. Again, that morning stuff I'm not worried about. We get into the afternoon. You notice all the bright colors across Mississippi. So that's where the real juicy, unstable air is going to be. And that's where those storms are going to be moving into. And then look what happens by the time the storms move in here across the state. That instability really begins to diminish. So again, it may be enough for a few severe storms, but I don't see this as a big time event. We don't see, again, very high levels of instability. But again, that's all you need is sometimes a little bit if you have enough wind shear. So there has to be some compensation there. Do we have enough wind shear? It's not very impressive in the wind shear department, but it may be enough, again, for that isolated case for a severe storm. But notice by 5 o'clock in the morning, a lot of the instability just poof, goes away. So that's why the eastern part of the state, that chance for severe weather is a little bit lower than, of course, back to the west. Now, storm spin, we're looking for these storms that want to rotate and really don't see much. I mean, I paused this at 7:30 or so. You see northwest Alabama will have to watch those particular storms. And then as we go through time, I mean, a little blip here or there. But honestly, I'm not seeing a lot of rotation with these thunderstorms. Again, there could be a brief spin-up threat, and that's what we have to prepare for. But again, the data is not screaming, a bunch of rotating thunderstorms, so that could be some more promising news. Certainly, we're going to see a lot of rainfall out of this, and we're talking about some amounts exceeding 2 inches, especially basically I-59, 20 back towards the west. So we'll have to watch out for localized flooding. And the other thing is, we have wind energy enough for some strong wind gusts as we start off in the morning hours tomorrow. Could be a little breezy, so definitely tune in to Mickey. He'll talk more about those wind gusts. But then we fast forward to when these storms start to move in. You'll notice down towards Sumter, Greene, Hale, over 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So some of those storms initially may pack a punch, especially across our southwest counties. And it's really our southern counties at Tier. There's 10 o'clock showing some of those stronger wind gusts. There's 2 o'clock in the morning, still some of the stronger wind gusts down to our south. Some gusty winds along the front, but really I think a lot of this is going to be, focused in certain areas, northwest initially and southwest, and then in between it's kind of one of those we wait and see if we get a little storm that decides to, intensify. So Wes, as you've been mentioning, just not meeting the criteria for us to issue a first alert weather day, even though everyone will see certainly some rain out of this system.
Yeah, Jill, I just want to kind of go through the animation here. One thing we might see, and we see this often, these storms to the south may get into South Alabama and kind of cut off some of that instability. We see that a lot of times. And if you look at this from a broader view, and you can see some of those storms and some of the latest data, the model data wants to show that clustering of storms to the south, and we could see that tornado risk really start to ramp up here across South Alabama, right where Jill was pinpointing that greatest instability. And when you look at this line to the north, it may become what we call outflow dominant. We may end up, you look at that line there, it's almost like a gust front, it just kind of moves along there and starts to outrun the precipitation. If we see a situation like that, that is going to greatly reduce the severe risk. So just want to point out, we see some things that could happen and trend for the better tomorrow night, but we still see some things that have us on alert in case we have a couple of warnings. We'll probably see a tornado watch out of this for parts of the area tomorrow night, but things will quickly evolve. What happens a lot of times with these weather events, it happens every time. In fact, we see the setup days in advance of the severe weather set up, but a lot of events during the day of the event, what we call mesoscale, even microscale events can happen that change the setup for the evening. That's why many times, you'll hear us when we're tracking severe weather, we'll say, well, the sun's out. It's not a good thing today. It will warm the temperatures. Well, we could see some things happen here tomorrow night with how this all evolves. Some of that rain out ahead of this could impact the conditions, and we'll see how that impacts the instability. But bottom line here, just be ready for tomorrow night. Again, looking at the forecast radar, you can see right there one more time as some of the new data coming in. You can see that line, and the models really do a good job pinpointing where that cold front is located. Behind that, severe threat over. In fact, 1 in the morning, these northwest counties, you'll be fine. A lot of the severe weather risk for those northwest areas will happen prior to midnight. We'll talk more about tomorrow, show you the rest of the week. That's next in the 7-day forecast, plus going beyond the 7-day after this.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we know the news that matters the most to you is the news that hits closest to home.
And we know that to tell the best story means going to where the story is. That's why having more reporters in more places is so essential.
Giving you more local stories that impact your family, your school, and your safety.
On air, online, and on the app.
That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
I hear from people all the time with questions about healthcare, their insurance, and the safety of certain treatments. I'm Morgan Hightower, and I investigate these stories because if I were being taken advantage of, or if my family couldn't get the help they needed, I would want to know how to take action. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get pinpoint locations down to your street level on the First Alert weather app. You can download by searching WBRC in your app store. That's accuracy you can plan on.
I hear from people all the time having problems with their landlord or worried about being ripped off by a bad business. I'm Josh Gann, and I investigate stories like these because if I had questions about protecting my finances or how to save more money, I would want the best advice available. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Twitter. Search at WBRC News.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Facebook. Search at WBRC News.
All right, First Alert 7-day forecast, and we have that chance of rain and storms there for Wednesday, and that's mostly for the overnight and into Thursday morning. This weekend, some wet weather possible for Saturday and Sunday. We haven't talked much about Saturday and Sunday. We're about to get into that as well and into next week. First off, I just want to mention, you look at this 7-day, you look at the First Alert weather app, there's a rain chance every day. But next week, I think a lot of what we're seeing here is going to be kind of scattered. It's not going to rain all the time. There will be some breaks, and we're going to try to break down when to expect that break in the wet weather. All right, as we look at the next big thing, first off, tomorrow night, obviously, we've been talking a lot about this severe weather risk. The one change today, we had the entire area in a slight risk. Now you can see a marginal risk for those far eastern counties, but really our thoughts haven't changed from day one on this. Greatest risk is going to be far west Alabama, and I know a lot of times we see these outlooks, and these things are great. They give us a good idea on where we expect the severe weather risk to set up, but you know, sometimes I don't like to always focus in on the center of these severe weather outlooks, because I've seen some of our most violent weather happen even in the marginal risk zones, and I just want to make sure everyone tomorrow night is paying close attention to the weather late in the overnight, just in case we have a couple of warnings that pops up. There's quite a few storms back across Mississippi, some big lightning producers, some heavier rainfall. All that activity is going to be moving north and east overnight. Some of those storms could reach us here in West Alabama, could have a few showers. What you're looking at is tomorrow morning, and actually that's 1 o'clock tomorrow. You can see that chance for some scattered showers, but the severe risk is going to ramp up tomorrow night. There's 7 o'clock. You can see that possibility of heavier rain, storms, could be some severe weather. There's a look at 11 o'clock on Wednesday. We're looking at that risk of storms during the overnight, and hopefully this line will weaken, but some of the data still showing if we see something like this pop up, could be some very strong winds in there, maybe a tornado risk as well. So probably seeing a watch pop up late tomorrow night for parts of the area, 2 in the morning, and you can see that line pushing down through Chilton County. That's 3 a.m. So a late night with the possibility of strong to severe storms through 4 o'clock in the morning. And looking at Thursday morning, you can see that rain tapering off with cooler temperatures settling in on the backside of this system. So we've got that system moving out Thursday morning, and after that, looks like a break into Friday. And then for Easter weekend, the rain comes back Friday night and into Saturday morning, and I would plan for the possibility Saturday afternoon, a few scattered showers in Tuscaloosa for the 8A game, possibly a thunderstorm. And it looks like this weekend still we have this axis of unsettled weather that's just set up, stalled out system across the state. So there's a pretty good chance even on Easter Sunday we wake up, some overcast conditions, a few showers around early in the day, and when temperatures start to ramp up on Easter, could be some scattered storms in the afternoon. So more wet weather possible. We should have a few breaks for an Easter egg hunt on Sunday, but I'd plan for some showers early in the day, and it looks like that rain comes back Sunday in the afternoon. Some more scattered areas of rain, perhaps a storm by Monday and into Tuesday. And I'm thinking Saturday, Jill, I'll let you jump in here because we were both talking about Saturday. We may see a complex of storms. Some of those could be strong. We'll need to watch Saturday for maybe a risk for some strong to severe storms.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the data earlier, and you can, click on some of the maps and get a sounding, and it does indicate that there could be some hail or strong wind producers, maybe a part of the mix Saturday. So we'll be watching for that. But let's go beyond the 7-day and let's see what we see as we take a look. Maybe our next system around the 21st. So again, it's kind of following in line with every 7 days or so. Again, that Wednesday, Thursday time frame, and then after that, I'm not seeing a whole lot. Could the pattern be finally changing? It's very well possible, and certainly as we take a look at even farther into the long term, of course we have April 27th. I'm not seeing anything on that day, but it looks like a big ridge of high pressure may start to set up, and that would send all of the active weather and keep it back to the west. I mean, we're going to see front range severe storms probably as we go beyond the 7-day, but again, I'm not seeing anything setting up over us. Maybe around the 21st, we'll watch that date. But otherwise, again, I think that pattern is going to be shifting as we've been noting. And those future low temperatures looking pretty good for those houseplants to go back outside. I don't know about you, but I'm just going to wait one more week to be sure, because once they're out, right? But yeah, it does look like we're starting to turn that corner west with the warmer temperatures and perhaps no more frost. I know you're excited about that potential.
That's right. Get the gardens ready. We're talking above freezing temperatures for most areas. Always have to watch that May time period for maybe a little bit of frost or what we call blackberry winter there in the month of May. But you start seeing these complexes of storms moving in from the northwest. I call this typically the month of May into June, what we call MCS season. We see these complexes of storms that move south and east, and when we start seeing that, that will certainly signal a pattern change across our region. Watching for storms tomorrow night again on that 7-day forecast. We'll be back to wrap it up. After this, you're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too, giving you more ways to get caught up with everything happening where you live. Plus, exclusive videos from your First Alert weather team. It's easy to use and it's free. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
You've got enough to worry about every day. That's why the First Alert Weather Team is on your side, so you can plan with confidence and take the worry out of weather. With exclusive First Alert AccuTrack, we pinpoint storms before they arrive. And with Weather Every 6, you are always informed. Alabama's weather changes fast, but we're working even faster, updating and alerting you first. We know your plans are important. This is why we First Alert.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we're on your side, trying to get you where you're going safely. First Alert Traffic updates you on slowdowns and gives you alternate routes. Having more reporters covering the roads you drive on gives you even more info to help you know more about why it happened and when it will be cleared. On air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
I get calls and emails all the time from people wanting to know how cities, counties, and the state are spending their tax dollars. I'm Jennifer Horton, and I investigate how your tax dollars are being used because I don't want your money or mine wasted or fraudulently spent by politicians in power. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, following the paper trail, asking the tough questions, and giving you the facts. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
All right, welcome back again tomorrow. In the morning, there could be a little bit of wet weather around, some scattered showers and storms early in the day. And then we're going to be watching tomorrow night for that risk of strong to severe storms. I'll have more updates in our forecast tonight at 9, 9:30, and 10. Be sure to join us then on WBRC Fox 6 News.